What's happening YouTube? So the Los Angeles Clippers tonight we face against the defending champs Milwaukee Bucks, and we got to see Norman Powell and Robert Covington debut. But unfortunately, we lost against the Milwaukee Bucks despite Norman Powell's amazing performance. So in the first half in general, we were literally fighting toe to toe against the Milwaukee Bucks. Reggie Jackson had a pretty good burst in the first quarter. He kind of did that one nice move against Giannis. Reggie did make some nice shots, and then after that, that's when and then the second half in general, that's when things pretty much went south. Pat Connaughton, he pretty much was turning into a Reggie Miller, switching all the shots. Giannis, of course, cannot really be contained. Bobby Portis, he played like an all-star. He dropped 27 points. Drew Holiday, I believe he dropped almost 30 points. He was actually splashing a lot of threes, and while that, of course, playing pretty good defense and all that, we lost by at least over 20 points, which is pretty unfortunate, but they are the reigning champs. They are the reigning champs. Meanwhile, the Clippers, of course, doesn't have Kawhi and Paul George. But as I usually do in the videos, I'm going to go player by player on how they did. And first, let's talk about Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris, he did his thing. I believe he went for 9 for 15. Made some threes, being the Marcus Morris that we would want him to be. He did his job, swishing all the shots, pretty much just in general, making really nice, timely threes, but unfortunately, it just was not enough in general. And then Reggie Jackson, he pretty much essentially, he had a really good burst in the first quarter, then second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, that's when things pretty much went south for him. He pretty much went 3 for 12, that was a really eye-opening, pretty eye-popping, it was a pretty bad game for Reggie Jackson, but again, you can't always have all the games to be good, I guess. We're not gonna forget about Reggie Jackson, what he did with the Lakers, but it was just unfortunate. Reggie, it was a pretty bad night for Reggie Jackson. But again, it was a lot of players too. Nicholas Batum, it was also a pretty bad night as well for Nick Batum too. He only went 1 for 5. He pretty much only essentially made one shot in the game, which is he fortunately, his shot was not falling at all. He only made that one mid range, but that was pretty much it. And then Amir Coffey, he didn't do too bad. He was 4 for 11. He scored 10 points. Brought a bit more of a ball movement. Sometimes, honestly, I feel like Amir should be I feel like Ty Lue should experiment running Amir at the point guard because his passing abilities is pretty nice, and it would definitely help our ball movement. And then Norman Powell, the man himself, Norman Powell. He was a killer tonight, but it really sucked that we lost because, it got, Norman's performance just definitely got overshadowed by the Bucks pretty much just essentially beating us. But nevertheless, he scored 26 points, that was really nice. He pretty much scored 9 points in 6 minutes, that was really good. That was just essentially really good. He was making all types of threes. He was getting to the basket. It was just really satisfying. He had some solid playmaking too. The great part about Norman is he plays really good defense as well too. I even seen him play defense against Giannis Antetokounmpo, that shows some really good work ethic against. Well, I mean that shows really good work ethic in general. He's going to play good on both sides of the end. He was just pretty much swishing all the shots. He was really good to say the least. And then Robert Covington, like the guy that he has a down season on the offense end, he actually played pretty good too. I like the length that he brought. He was like a pretty big upgrade over Justice Winslow alone because he plays good defense and his offense is even more than Justice Winslow. Like he even made like some threes, I believe, which is that's the he played like Robert Covington when he was with the 76ers or the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is that's pretty good sign on our new additions. Like, and then one thing that kind of sucked though is since we did acquire Norman Powell, Brandon Boston Jr. essentially pretty much fell out the rotation, which is that really sucks because Brandon Boston Jr. is a beast, and I still feel like Ty Lue definitely should be trying to find a way to. My bad for the yawn, but Ty Lue should definitely try to find a way to still get Brandon Boston Jr. in rotation because he is really damn good in my opinion. Like he just had made one shot. He was like 50%, I guess. He only played garbage time, which is pretty unfortunate. Pretty unfortunate. Terrence Mann, he kind of had a somewhat quiet performance. He didn't do too bad. He went 3 for 8, which is that was Terrence Mann things. Like, and I don't think he made a 3 either, but he didn't really take too much shots. He did have that one nice dunk though. And then Luke Kennard, he was another disappointment. Like Luke Kennard lately, like he's kind of on a bit of some of a slump, I guess, because I mean he didn't do too bad against the Lakers, but he was not like really like new Kennard. But this game he was off. He went like I believe two. I don't remember exactly, but he was pretty off. Like he made like he made some threes, but other than that, he was missing a lot of shots. But nevertheless, though, Norman played pretty good. ROCO played pretty good, but it was just a lot of our players. They essentially pretty much had to have a slump. But again, this is the defending champs we're facing. So again, it's not a bad loss. Like you can't really be too mad at it because again, think about it. The Bucks are in full strength. Clippers have no stars, and we kind of held our own. It's just the Bucks just pretty much they made their threes, and also Serge Ibaka. I believe he played pretty solid, like solid on a defensive end. Also, he was a bit kind of a little bit somewhat quiet on offense, but he did pretty solid. Ivica Zubac, welcome back. I felt he did pretty solid on the offensive end. Did his thing, being a pretty solid big, but just solid. 10 points. I forgot how many rebounds he got, but unfortunately, we just couldn't pull it off. But just let me know on what you think about the game in general, and Norman and ROCO. Shout out to them. They were balling out pretty good. And yeah, like I said, I'll like I'll talk to you guys in the comment section, and be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as y'all know, go Clippers.